I think people would be surprised.
Really? You think so? I think you'd be surprised.
Good morning, everybody. Rocking the trucker hat today. Hope everybody's having a great day. Good morning, good night, whenever you're watching this. So today, little MMA talk. I was just thinking, and I had a question for you guys. Kind of interesting one. Where would Schaub be if he was still fighting? Would he still be in the UFC? Would he be in Bellator? If he wasn't a comedian right now, wasn't doing podcast, what would his MMA career be like? That's my question. Because he wasn't a horrible heavyweight. He had some good wins, but then he also had some big losses too. I didn't see him retiring when he did, but obviously, you know, his friend being Joe Rogan and that infamous segment where Rogan put him on blast.
Where you stand, not your commitment to training. Not your commitment to training, not your commitment to give it your all. I think you have one foot out the door. I think you're looking. You disagree? Mm-hmm. I think you're looking at where the future is going to take you, and that you can't do this forever. You know, and I think that's a very dangerous place to be in fighting. You're a smart dude, and the problem with smart dudes is smart dudes think about concussions. You think about how many you've already had, how many you got coming up, how much damage you're taking in training. When does damage start to show up in your life? The reality of your skill set, where you at now, I don't see you beating the elite guys. But there's a reality of fluidity of movement, of mechanical efficiency of movement that happens when you get a guy who's trained his whole life at a certain aspect of MMA, whether it's wrestling, whether it's kickboxing, whether it's jiu-jitsu. There's a fluidity to their movement that you don't really have.
Sometimes it's hard to be honest with your friends like that, man. Tough love. But if you really think about it, I think Schaub would probably be out of the UFC by now, if not retired, maybe fighting in ONE or Bellator or something like that. He really is lucky to have a friend like Joe. One of the best quotes from that podcast was, "How do you think you would do if you wrestled Cain Velasquez? Only wrestling." And Brendan said, "I think you'd be surprised. I think I would do well." And then Rogan said, "I think you would be surprised on how bad he would mess you up."
Wrestling match with Cain Velasquez, how well do you think you'd do?
Straight up wrestling?
Yeah.
I think people would be surprised.
Really? You think so? I think you'd be surprised.
Which is true. Like, you know, Schaub, there's no way in a wrestling match he would be hanging with Cain Velasquez. To have somebody give you a reality check so hard and so truthful, man, so straight up and honest, so brutally honest.
A certain amount there's a bridge between you and the very best guys in the world. And I don't know if you can cross that bridge.
On a platform like that, to where millions of people are watching, you can watch it back at any time. You can go back right now and watch that podcast. I mean, it's brutal, man. But that is what he needed. I don't think he's a better comedian than he is a fighter. I enjoyed watching him fight a lot more than I do watching his stand-up. I can watch his podcast. I mean, it's not the best thing, but if I see clips of it, I can definitely watch like The Fighter and the Kid, stuff like that. I'd rather watch him talk about MMA, something he knows a lot about, than watch him do stand-up comedy, which I feel like he's not the hottest at stand-up comedy, but at least the man's got a career now. You know, he's not getting punched in the head for a living, and if his goal was to be the UFC champion, then he did the right thing on retiring, man. Because I don't think he was ever going to reach that goal.
Can you become a champion? If you can't become a champion, are you comfortable with getting knocked out 3 or 4 more times over the next 5 or 6 years?
Hey, still, shout outs to him, man. He had a good run in the UFC. To get to the UFC in general, that's a hard one to do. So anybody who's even made it to the UFC at all deserves a pat on the back. You know, that's big respect. It's the best MMA organization in the world. To get there at any point in your MMA career, you got to respect that, man. Yeah, let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Do you think he would be top 5, champion in the UFC, top 15, not ranked at all, or already cut, retired in a different organization? Let me know your guys' thoughts on that. Appreciate you guys watching. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button down there. We're doing a lot more MMA content, random content in general on my channel now. Trying to branch it off and do what I want to do. Not just video games, not just like one little niche. Basically just whatever I feel like creating, you know. But I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.